You guys, we bought something. Bought something we've been wanting for a really long time. I'm standing right in front of it. It's right over there. Can you guess what it is? So now that the wind's died down, I can really show you what happened with this tree. I think it was getting ready to break for a long time. So if you look up at the top, the part of the tree that's still hooked up to the top is actually a very small part of the tree. The main part of the trunk that snapped off is hanging clear down here because it's all tangled up in the rest of the branches, and it's completely hollow. I mean, look at that. There's nothing left of the inside of that. It's been rotted out on the inside and getting ready to break for a long time. You can see this crack going all the way down the tree. This old thing was no good. So that's kind of unfortunate because I was gonna lop that trunk off about 8 feet tall and have a chainsaw artist come out and carve a life-size rendering of myself. But there's really no point of it because there's nothing left of the middle of that tree trunk. Oh well, some dreams will never come true. Now let's take a little better look at what happened here in the barnyard. So this barn being open to the south and being largely built by me and a bunch of other inexperienced contractors, I'm really surprised that absolutely nothing happened to it. I'm really happy that it stayed where it is and that everything seems fine. But I was also really surprised that these concrete walls tipped over. But I think it's fairly obvious that the only reason this happened is because I had those two guardrails attached to the top of them. You know, gave it a place to catch the wind. Unfortunately, upon further inspection, the bottom of this one is boogered up pretty good. And the top corner of this one is actually broken from here all the way over to here. So I don't know if I'm really even going to be able to use these anymore. Definitely not going to be able to use them the way I was. So the thing I was the most nervous about when standing these walls back up was I was afraid that they were going to flop over in the other direction once they stood up and fall over to the south. So I was kind of trying to tilt the bale spears so that the backing plate on the spear attachment would catch the wall when it stood back up, and it actually worked pretty good. It worked really good the first time, and it would have worked the second time too, but I wasn't quite ready for the wall to flop over yet. You guys, we bought something. I'll give you a hint. The thing that we bought is currently hooked on to my old flatbed Ford right now. And if you guessed that we bought a gooseneck livestock trailer, you would be absolutely right. Now, I wasn't originally planning on buying a trailer that was older than me. This thing was made in 1983. I'll let you guess what year I was made in. But it's in unbelievable shape. Come take a look at this thing. So nothing's rotted out along the bottom and the front here. The metal's all in great shape. We do have some repairs to make on a few of these angle braces where they hold on to the step here out on the edge. Some of them are solid, but some of them need to be repaired. Some of them have already been repaired. Underneath the trailer is actually really clean. The one thing that we're really gonna have to fix before we use it, right here where the center spring perch attaches, is a spot that these chaparral trailers are notorious for collecting road junk, and you can see that that angle is actually rusted through and broken. So we're gonna have to take the wheels off, probably cut the axles off, and replace that entire section of angle iron from the back of the fender all the way just past the front of the fender, just to make sure we've got a really solid undercarriage for the thing. But I tell you what, I'm pretty excited about having our own gooseneck trailer. Now, I'm sure you're probably thinking, well, Carl, why didn't you buy an aluminum trailer? Well, honestly, we only pull a big trailer twice a year. Once when we haul the cows out to the pasture, once when we bring them back in from the pasture. Otherwise, we just use the little bumper pull trailer to haul a bull around, haul the calves around. We bought that trailer for $1,100. So even if we have to stick another $800 or $900 in it, still a really cheap usable trailer as compared to a $15,000 to $30,000 aluminum gooseneck trailer that's going to sit around except for 2 times a year. So I'm pretty excited. Just in case you were wondering, this is by far the best way to move a narrow front tractor around if it doesn't run. I've got the carburetor pulled off this tractor right now to get it rebuilt. and I needed to move it from one shed to the other to make room to bed the cows down when it snows this week. And man, this is the only way I could figure out how to do it really easily. It worked great. So I was driving the old Cummins this morning, and I noticed a grinding sound, and I was coming to a stop, so I thought, pretty sure it was coming from the driver's side front. I better whip it into the shop, pull that wheel off, make sure there's not part of a pad missing or a rock stuck in there or something. Sorry, I'm about to burp. Everything looks fine, but while I had it all opened up, I thought maybe I should go ahead and replace that ABS sensor that I've had riding around in the back seat of my pickup for 6-7 months. Maybe today's the day. Christmas Eve, seems good, doesn't it? So I get in here, get the bolt out of the old sensor, and surprise, surprise, the sensor broke off when I was trying to pull it out. So I drilled the old sensor out, got the new sensor put in. Then I figured out that it's almost impossible to get this wire to go back into these clips that holds it on the brake line so it doesn't get tossed around and damaged. That was really fun. Pro tip, if you've got a pair of vice grips like this for welding, these things were the only way that I could figure out to get that wire snapped into those clips without ruining the wire or the clips or my thumbs. So then you get the wire all threaded up through here, clear up into here. Can you see that right down there? That is the connector. The connector looks like this, and it's got a locking piece that slips through here and is supposed to snap. I could not get that connector to snap, no matter how hard I pushed on it. I can just barely get both of my hands down there under all the brake lines. I pushed on that thing for 15 minutes until my fingers were gonna bleed. I'm pretty sure it's probably gonna unplug itself while I'm driving. Maybe I'll just have to put a zip tie around it. I tell you what, you folks that wake up every morning to go to your shop to work on vehicles like this, there's gotta be a special kind of sainthood for you, or a spot in the mental asylum. I don't know what's the matter with you guys. That just seems like a job that would not be any fun at all. Side note, if you get your vehicle worked on and you think they're charging too much, they're probably not charging enough. What do you think, LB? Is it done? Are we good to go? Well, it didn't take long for this little Christmas Eve project to get a little out of hand and a fair amount more expensive. Oh well. You see, this is the rotor that I thought was making the noise, but as it turns out, it was this one that was making the noise. And she was pretty well destroyed by the time I noticed it. You see, what happened was the old caliper was all seized up and it just burned the entire lining off of that pad that was on the backside of that caliper. I don't have it here to show you. I forgot to take any footage of it. It had to go back to the auto parts store for the core charge on the new caliper. Oh well, that's what happens when you drive old trucks. You're gonna be fixing them. Well, they said it was gonna snow. They weren't kidding. Winter's officially here. So you guys, something really cool just showed up at the office. We ordered this a little while ago. Maybe it's kind of dorky to get so excited about this, but check this out. So these are individual temperature sensors that are gonna hang in each room of our hog barns. This is the box that it all came in. And then over here, this is the controller called the Gateway. This is going to wirelessly communicate with the sensors and with cellular data so that it can transmit all the temperature information in real time to the app, and we can check on it on our phone. Of course, the Gateway is also plugged into power, so if there's a power outage at the barn, it's gonna let us know about that as well. But I'm pretty excited to be able to monitor all this stuff remotely. We do currently have an alarm system, but all it does is just call us if something's wrong, and it has no idea what's wrong. It's just, there's a problem, so then you gotta go up there and figure that out. But with this system, we should be able to just look on the app and see what the exact temperature is in each room. Pretty excited about this. I'll keep you up to date and let you know how it works once we get it installed. Well, that's gonna do it for today. Thanks for stopping in. I'm gonna sit here and get some more computer and office work done while it's snowing outside. As always, let me know if you have any questions or just things you'd like to make fun of me about. Drop those right down here in the comments section. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see you next time.